be great.
Okay.
This is for,
I call to order the regular Storm Lake City Council meeting of April 20th. All who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Council, we have a few proclamations this evening. So this first proclamation is recognizing Captain Troy Hogreff of the Storm Lake Fire Department for 35 years of outstanding service. Whereas the safety and security of our community is of the utmost importance, and the Storm Lake Fire Department is at the forefront of providing this essential service, and whereas Troy Hogreff, Captain from the Storm Lake Fire Department, has exemplified the highest standards of selfless commitment, courage, and professionalism over the last 35 years, and whereas Captain Hogreff has dedicated countless hours of his personal time not only to respond to emergencies, but also to train, mentor new members, maintain equipment, and act as on-scene incident safety officer to ensure the department operates with maximum effectiveness. Whereas the leadership, experience, and wisdom of Captain Hogreff served as an inspiration to all members of the department and to the community at large, embodying the true spirit of public service, and whereas it is fitting and proper that we publicly acknowledge and express our profound gratitude for the invaluable contributions, sacrifices, and leadership of Captain Troy Hogreff. Now, therefore, I, Meg McKeon, Mayor of Storm Lake, congratulate Troy Hogreff of the Storm Lake Fire Department on a well-deserved retirement. The City of Storm Lake extends our deepest appreciation for his unwavering commitment, tireless service, and exemplary leadership that makes our community a safer place to live. Signed and sealed this 20th day of April 2026.
Vacation.
And again, thank you so much, Troy.
thank you.
City of Storm Lake proclamation for Storm Lake Proud Month. Whereas the City of Storm Lake each spring designates a period to encourage beautification and volunteerism in our community, and whereas the Storm Lake Proud program invites residents and groups to roll up their sleeves and get involved for a cleaner, greener community, and whereas the volunteer efforts over recent years have allowed numerous cleanup and improvement efforts, including tree planting, park and beach cleanup, painting of public fixtures, chainsaw, sculpture preservation, and more. Whereas community beautification contributes to an enjoyable lifestyle for Storm Lake residents and our visitors, as well as providing social benefits for those volunteering to work together. And whereas the City of Storm Lake further encourages residents to celebrate this Storm Lake Proud Month with cleanup and improvement of their own properties, neighborhoods, and local parks. And whereas the city recently created a Neighbors Helping Neighbors volunteer program that works to pair volunteers with residents who are not physically capable of doing necessary tasks on their property, and encourages those interested in helping to contact the City Building and Codes Office. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, as Storm Lake Mayor and City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2026 as Storm Lake Proud Month, and urge residents to become involved in community beautification projects, as well as to reach out and help their neighbors to make Storm Lake the best community it can be. signed this 20th day of April 2026 in Storm Lake, Iowa. I'm going to share these with the Mayor Pro Tem coming up soon. Proclamation declaring Municipal Clerks Week. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is a time-honored and vital part of local government in Storm Lake and in municipalities around the world, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerks is amongst the oldest of public services and serves as the link between residents, their local governing bodies, and government at all levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, providing fair and equal service to all, and whereas professional municipal clerks serve as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas professional municipal clerks continue to strive to improve the administration of their office through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and meetings of their professional organizations. It is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of city clerks during the 57th Annual National Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 3rd through 9th, 2026. Now, therefore, I, Meg McKeon, Mayor of Storm Lake, do hereby recognize the week of May 3rd as Professional Clerks Week in Storm Lake and extend thanks for the exceptional service of Storm Lake City Clerk Maida Martinez and Assistant City Clerk Nelder Kirkholm for their vital work and dedication to the community. Signed and sealed this 20th day of April 2026. Thank you, Maida. Okay, council, are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as is.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Ramos. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The agenda is set. Are there any disclosures by members of the council to any items on the agenda? Hearing none, we will move to hear the public. Do we have anyone here who would like to address the council on a non-agenda item? If so, please step to the podium. And please state your name and your address.
My name is Paul Heidi. My address is 1204 East 9th Street here in Storm Lake. Upon the request of city officials, I'm going to give the council an official letter about two issues that we are having in our neighborhood out on Geisinger Road and Evergreen in that area. I'd like to present this letter to the city council now and ask them to act on this prudently and efficiently for the well-being of the citizens in that area. There's two items on this letter. One of them items, thanks to the mayor and or the city manager, and especially Chief Cole, is already in the process of data collecting. And we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Would you like to say what the second request is?
Or the first request.
Oh, yeah, so we can clarify. That first request
Okay,
is
the first
concerning
request
speed.
was for traffic control, speed control on Geisinger. The second request is for dust control. Due to the fact that we have a large amount of traffic that is going over the speed limit in our estimation, which Chief Cole will get the data on here after a while, we would like to encourage the council to help us and or take care of some dust control problem. For the past 16 plus years, the citizens in that area on Geisinger Road and Evergreen have been paying for dust control so that we can live a healthy and sustainable lifestyle in the city of Storm Lake. The traffic is very speedy down that road, Geisinger Road. There is an increased amount of traffic due to the new housing development area out in our neighborhood. And we would ask the council to consider helping us take care of some dust control issues in that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone online who would like to address the council on a non-agenda item? If so, it is *6 to unmute. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council on a non-agenda item? Hearing none, we will move on. So, next, I have an announcement. A special announcement to share for Storm Lake High School and St. Mary's High School students. The City of Storm Lake will be inviting our students in grades 9 through 12 to share their pride in the home community in a new Why I'm Storm Lake Proud essay contest. Essays should be the original work of the student and no more than 500 words. The deadline for submitting essays is May 22nd. Students may also email their work to communications@stormlake.org or drop essays off at Storm Lake City Hall. The winning student will be named Storm Lake Mayor for a day and will be honored in the Star-Spangled Spectacular Parade on July 4th. Essays may also be featured in the city's social media posts. Young people are the future of our communities, and I want to reach out to them to hear their thoughts of Storm Lake and to encourage them to be involved. Please watch for information on the essay contest on the city's website and social media pages and in our local news media. And I think that's it for announcements and proclamations. Council, are there any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Rickless, second.
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is accepted. We'll move on to new business. First order of business is to approve Storm Lake Rotary barbecue request.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. What you have before you is a request from the Storm Lake Rotary for their annual barbecue cookout fundraiser, which is to be held on Wednesday, September 16th, from noon to 10. And Ann Wise is here to answer any questions you may have on the event.
Do I have to?
Questions from the council?
I do.
Councilperson Piercy.
I have this question about this, having a bartender there. I think the policy is that you have to use a bartender from Kings Point and the alcohol served from Kings Point.
Yep.
That's correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what we've done in the past, yep.
We just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
Questions or comments from the council?
And Chief Cole didn't have any, this has
No,
been working pretty well.
They were, I think you were requesting to waive fees also. is
Oh,
that
yes,
correct?
yeah, we're a nonprofit, so if you would consider that as well, thank you.
Does that include the security deposit?
Honorable Mayor and Council, typically you do have to pay the security deposit. You'd just be waiving the fees for the facility.
So Rotary is aware of both of those, all of those requirements, and you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments, council? Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the Storm Lake Rotary barbecue request with the additional information that we've stated.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez, second by Councilperson Ramos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Moves. Enjoy your barbecue.
Thank you.
Next item of business is ordinance number 10-2025-2026 on proposed rezoning of 211 East 13th Street And this is the second reading.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, again, second reading of this is a request by Access Property to rezone a lot that's currently zoned IN2 Institutional Facilities District to the R4 High Density Residential Zoning District. Purpose is to create more apartment buildings in that area. And again, this was reviewed by P&Z, and we went through the comprehensive plan items and also the Article 1204 zoning ordinance with council at the last meeting. Unless there's more questions, that kind of constitutes my report on that.
Any questions, council? Have we received anything from the public? With that then, I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-2026 on a proposed rezoning of 211 East 13th Street, and this is the second reading. This is a roll call vote after the motion.
I so move.
Okay, moved by Councilperson Piercy, second by
Second.
Councilperson Martinez. Councilperson Rickliffs.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Ordinance passes.
Thank you.
Next is resolution number 60R 2025-26, setting public hearing on submission of a CDBG application, housing rehabilitation roofing. Dutfield.
Honorable Mayor and Council, the City of Storm Lake is seeking a community development block grant to provide critical roof rehabilitation for low to moderate income homeowners. The requirements of the CDBG grant application require the city to hold a public hearing to allow citizens the opportunity to be heard and provide comments on the submission of the grant application. We'd like to set a public hearing here at City Hall in Council Chambers on Monday, May 4th at 5 p.m. This is a request to set that public hearing. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing no questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 60-R-2025-2026, setting public hearing on submission of a CDBG application, housing rehabilitation roofing, and that meeting would be May 4th at 5 p.m. in council chambers. Is there a motion? Moved by Councilperson Rickliff. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliff.
Aye.
Resolution passes. You're still here.
I'm still here, Mayor.
Okay. Resolution number 61-R-2025-2026, adopting the IEDA Language Access Plan. Mr. Dutfield.
Honorable Mayor and Council, the CDBG grant that we just talked about requires us to adopt a language access plan. Fortunately for us, the Iowa Economic Development Authority has already adopted a language access plan and has made that available to us, which we can adopt. The purpose of the LAP is to ensure the IDA provides appropriate language assistance so that individuals with limited English proficiency receive meaningful access, so we can adopt the same plan, which is required by the grant. Any questions for me?
Okay, hearing no questions, council, I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 61-R-2025-2026, adopting the IEDA Language Access Plan.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez, second by Councilperson Reiner. Again, roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliff.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. This agenda item will set a public hearing for the fiscal year 26-27 budget. If you want to open that public hearing.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes. The public hearing is open for the adoption of the 26-27 budget.
The budget was published on April 10th with an estimate of summarized revenues, expenses, and fund balances, along with the levy rate. The budget outlines funding operational priorities for the city, as well as city-identified visions and goals. Budgeted revenues are just over $60 million and expenses slightly over $63 million, leaving a deficit of $2,961,034. As a result, primarily due to the acquisition of land for the proposed water treatment plant location and carryover projects. The $19 million in budgeted capital improvement plans includes $9.8 million of grant funding applications. This would leave a budget ending balance of $14,688,995. Our total debt payments is just under $3.8 million, meaning total debt service only takes up about 6% of the total revenues. There is no fiscal impact to hold the public hearing, so the recommendation is to hear any written or oral comments and close the public hearing.
Is there anyone here who would like to present any comments, written or speak to the council on the budget, proposed budget? Anyone online can speak by hitting *6. And have we received anything prior to this?
We have not.
Then I will close the public hearing and move on to resolution number 62-R-2025-2026, adopting the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget.
I have nothing to add, Honorable Mayor and Council. The recommendation is to approve the resolution and adopt fiscal year 2026-2027 budget. Please.
Council, questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to pass resolution number 62-R-2025-2026, adopting the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Ramos. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliffs.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Next item is a motion setting a public hearing on an ordinance amending City Code Title 3, Chapter 3, Section 4 for the purpose of changing the sewer service rate. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. As discussed during the budget work session, the now adopted budget includes a recommendation for an increase for sewer rates to avoid future major increases as a result of state-mandated nutrient reduction strategies. Sewer is a self-supporting fund through user fees servicing the wastewater treatment plant, lift stations, and other distribution system throughout the community. Projects similar to the Cowichan Third Lift Station are funded solely by sewer funds. Also, the FEMA Scout Park and Ice House Lift Station, though they receive grant funding, $1.6 million of that project is funded locally. The proposed increase is $4 to $5 per month for an average user, and is anticipated to generate $474,000 of additional revenue annually. Prior to the first reading of the ordinance, notice must be published for and hearing held. This item will set the public hearing for the sewer rate increase for May 4th at 5 p.m. in the council chambers.
Questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, then I would entertain a motion setting a public hearing on an ordinance and amending City Code Title 3, Chapter 3, Section 4 for the purpose of changing sewer service rates. That public hearing will be on May 4th at 5 p.m. in council chambers.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Reiner, second.
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 Second by Councilperson Martinez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion passes. Next item, motion setting a public hearing on an ordinance amending City Code Title III, Chapter 3, Section 5 for the purpose of changing water service rate. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you again. The proposed fee schedule for the water rates is based on the council's direction and the recommendation presented to the city council by the Water Treatment Plant Ad Hoc Committee in January. The committee, made up of community representative volunteers, met over a 4-month period in 2025 to study the Storm Lake's future water infrastructure needs. The committee considered not only a water plant, but a complete water system, including wells and water storage needed to move forward. It considered options for funding of the project and appropriate fees through water utility users. As proposed by the Water Ad Hoc Committee and recommended by the city's financial advisor, the proposed increase is an average residential user beginning July 1, 2026 will be between $12 and $15. Like the sewer ordinance, prior to the first reading of the ordinance, notice must be published and hearing held. This item just simply sets a public hearing for the water rates for May 4th at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers.
Council questions? Hearing none, then I would entertain a motion setting a public hearing on an ordinance amending City Code Title III, Chapter 3, Section 5 for the purpose of changing the water service rate. That public hearing will be held May 4th at 5 p.m. in City Council chambers.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is public hearing for the plans, specifications, form of contract, engineering estimate for the Storm Lake Municipal Airport Terminal Area Apron Expansion Project. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you. The apron expansion project will involve extending the hard surface to the south of the existing apron. The construction of the apron expansion will allow for additional aircraft parking and for a secondary apron route to relieve congestion on the existing apron at the Storm Lake Municipal Airport. The engineering estimate of the total project is $1,598,637.50 for the base bid and all the alternate bids. There is no fiscal impact to hold the public hearing, so the recommendation is to hear any written or oral comments and close the public hearing. The engineer with Bolton and Mink, Garrett, is available for questions as well.
I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak to this item? Is there anyone online? If so, hit *6 to unmute. Have we received anything from the public? Okay. Hearing none, I will close the public meeting. Do we need anything other than to close it? No. Next item, resolution number 63-R-2025-2026, approving plans, specifications, form of contract, engineering estimate, awarding the bid, and submittal of the FAA grant applications for the Storm Lake Municipal Airport Terminal Area Apron Expansion Project. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. Bids were opened on April 13th, 2026. The matrix used for awarding the lowest responsive bidder was the low bid plus low of the base bid plus alternates A and B. 5 bids were received, with the apparent low bidder being Wicks Construction in the amount of $1,502,535 for the total base bid and 2 alternates. This is 6.4% underneath the engineer's estimate. On April 13th, 2026, the Storm Lake Airport Commission recommended awarding the contract to Wicks Construction of Decorah, Iowa, for the total amount of $1,139,385, which includes base bid and alternate B. The cause of the exclusion of alternate A is due to the total amount of FAA funding available to Storm Lake Municipal Airport through ACIP and BIL funds. The project does include a 5% local match included in the approved CIP. This award is contingent on the City Council's approval, FAA concurrence, and the receipt of the FAA grant agreement. Recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, engineer's estimate, accepting bids, and awarding the construction contract to Wix Construction.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbons. Questions, council? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 63-R-2025-2026, approving plans, specifications, form of contract, engineering estimate, awarding the bid, and submittal of the FAA grant applications for the Storm Lake Municipal Airport Terminal Area Apron Expansion Project.
I so move.
Moved by Councilperson Piercy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martinez. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Rickliffs.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Next item of business, resolution number 64-R-2025-2026, authorizing the submission of an application to the Iowa Department of Transportation for airport funding and certifying eligibility requirements. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you. I think I'm done after this one tonight. This is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the Iowa DOT for airport funding and certifying eligible requirements for the airport fuel tank replacement and relocation project. The existing fuel tank at the Storm Lake Municipal Airport are underground tanks installed more than 40 years ago and are approaching the end of their useful life. Also, existing fueling cabinets, both jet fuel and avgas, though they're newer, are in the middle of the apron and significantly block the taxiway for aircraft when someone is parked at the fueling island. This project will relocate the fuel system away from the center of the apron and allow for a safer taxi operations. It will also replace the aging underground tanks with a newly above dual-walled tank system. The existing fuel cabinets will be reused within this project currently. Original funding plans for this project estimated the funding requests of 75% DOT funds with a 25% match. However, based on fund availability, the recommendation by engineering firm Bolton & Mink included a request of 65% DOT funding and 35% funding for local match, a difference of $65,385 of total local match dollars. The proposed timeline of this project includes bidding in the spring of 2027 with construction during the summer of 2027. If approved, the application will require additional funding allocation in fiscal year 2028, starting July of 2027. The Airport Commission reviewed the application at their April 13th commission meeting and has requested City Council authorize the submission of the application to the DOT for airport funding and certifying additional funding requirements. And again, the engineer is here should you have any questions.
Questions from the council?
I do. The six-
Councilperson Martinez.
The change in the percentage was why again? Can you just explain it better?
Sorry, Garrett Jacobs with Bolton & Mink. That's nice to see you all in person and not on a screen. So DOT, they've been pretty open with AIP grants. The dollar amount they've been willing to give out gets to be pretty high, but over the last couple of years, it seems like the applications that they're getting are totaling more and more. Last year, they got around, I think it was about $12 million in total applications, and that's, I think he said, about 30% higher than he'd seen in the past. So they've not formally instituted a cap, but have told us no applying for basically anything over $400,000 of state share. So I believe the previous CIP had $450,000, so that's where part of it comes from. The overall total, the overall project cost, when we were looking at photos taken, it's probably been about a year ago inside the cabinets to figure out exactly what we would need to replace, what we could keep, what would meet standards now, whether it's different nozzles, fueling filters, whatever it is. We noticed that the horizontal filter vessel on the Jet A system does not have recirculation capabilities. So to add that in is gonna be an increased project cost. Usually when we're moving or just installing new fuel systems altogether, a lot of the times it seems that the piping is, aside from the price of the tanks and the cabinets themselves, the piping is incredibly expensive. So having to add that in just drives things up a little bit more. But that's the main reason for the increase.
Thank you.
The question is Councilperson Piercy.
Last fall or late summer, there was some questions about the fuel system out there. Will this solve some of those problems?
Yep. Sorry. So the plan, on the exhibit, we've got a couple different potential ideas for the location of this new fuel farm, but essentially the tanks that are in the ground would be decommissioned, meaning either they would be filled with an inert material or could be removed, filled back with a granular material, once tested for any kind of, I can't think of the word, petroleum infiltration into the soil or groundwater. And then we would construct that new facility at, we have it shown on the exhibit as up in the northwest corner or the southeast corner, essentially away from the center of the apron, which is causing congestion, especially if you have two larger Group 2 aircraft trying to pass one another. But yes, this does solve the problem with basically not being able to sell fuel, with different components failing from various reasons. So. Well, we would expect that anything new that is installed and anything that is reclaimed or salvaged would be in a useful working condition at the end of the project.
I have a question on something I think I just heard you say. So the option would be to fill the existing tanks with something. And then I thought I heard you say, or remove them and fill them. So if you remove them and fill them, where are you removing them to? Where would they be stored?
So we would remove the concrete over top of the tanks themselves. They drain the tanks. I can't remember the right name of the trailer they use to come and pull all the liquid out before they actually pull it out of the ground. They pull the tank out, and then we would fill back with a granular backfill, compact to say 95% of proctor density, and then pave back over the top so there's not a hole in the
So you're pulling the tank out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
my question is then what happens to the tank? Where is it going?
It would be up to, well, anytime that we have removals, I say the contractor, it becomes their property. So they're responsible for its disposal according to local, state, and federal guidelines.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And one more
One
thing.
more question from Councilperson
Not a
Martinez.
question, but when we talk about these things, you just need to be here. This makes a huge
Yes,
difference.
it does.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this is really, really helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
And I will just note on the removal, there is a separate state grant available for $15,000 toward the removal of the tanks. That's outside of the scope of this one. There will be another grant application to try to get more funds for that as well, when we come to that.
Thank you. Okay, any more questions, council? Okay, hearing none, and I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 64-R-2025-2026, authorizing the submission of an application to the Iowa Department of Transportation for airport funding and certifying eligibility requirements.
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Rickliff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martinez. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliff.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Thank you, Mr. Gibbons. So, council, we are about to go into a work session on truck routes, which was postponed from our last council meeting. Would you like a 5 to 10 minute stretch break?
Sure.
Yes? Okay.
I would like to go home when it's still light. And I've been here before, so 4 minutes. How's 4 minutes?
4 minutes. Anybody need a 4 minute rest break? Do you need to stand up? Okay. Okay, then we will move on. Mr. Darragon.
Honorable Mayor and Council, sometimes we leave the most exciting thing to last on the agenda. That may not be the case today. Mostly we'll probably take a quick review of the letter from Allers, or the opinion from Allers from 2024 regarding truck routes and their perspective of it. It outlines in that letter the federal systems. Federal law provides for two separate road systems, the National Network and the National Highway System, which is also known as the Federal Aid Highway System. The Surface Transportation Assistance Act of 1982 provides national standards for trucks, sizes and weight. And then as a result of that, there's federal regulations identified in the national network of highways to which those standards would apply and on which the federally authorized trucks could drive. Federal regulations require reasonable access to the national network. In that case, the federal regulations prohibit state or local laws denying reasonable access to permitted vehicles between the national network roads and terminals and facilities for food, fuel, repairs, and rest. Reasonable access may not be denied between the national network roads and, quote, points of loading and unloading to household good carriers, motor carriers of passengers, and any truck, tractor, semi-trailer combination in which the semi-trailer has a length not to exceed 28 feet. Additionally, no state or local government may enact or enforce any law denying access within 1 road mile from the national network using the most reasonable and practical route available. In Storm Lake, the national network includes highways 7, 71, and 110. On the federal aid system, we get federal financial support through Northwest Iowa Planning. You might recall recently we got the grant of $1 million for the Oneida project. And those 3 blocks, 3 to 3.5 blocks, are now exceeding $4.5 million total to do that project. And that includes full street resurfacing, curb and gutter, but also utilities improvements as well as stormwater. So it's not all just the road surface on that project. In this, we note the functional classification map is done by Iowa DOT. It pertains to the establishment of a road system which federal funds may be more efficiently invested. The Federal Aid Highway Program provides federal financial support through state transportation agencies for construction and maintenance and operation of the system. Other than the federal aid highway is defined as a public highway eligible for this federal assistance, other than a highway functionally classified as a local road or rural minor collector. And we note that 5th Street in this case is a minor arterial road, and that's defined as a road that provides service for trips of moderate length, serve geographic areas that are smaller than their higher arterial counterparts, and offer connectivity to the higher arterial system. In an urban context, they interconnect and augment the higher arterial system, provide intra-community connectivity, and may carry local bus routes. 5th Street in this case provides connection to principal arterial roads, Highway 110 and Highway 7 within the local city limits. 5th Street also appears to provide intra-community continuity as it's an east-west route through city limits. The street is currently eligible for federal funds due to IDOT's classification. And I believe it was about a decade ago there was a road work on 5th Street, and I think the grant amount on that was about $900,000 at that time, which probably makes it several $1 million today with inflation. Under Iowa code, with local authorities with respect to highways under their jurisdiction may also by ordinance or resolution prohibit the operation of trucks or other commercial vehicles or may impose limitations as to the weight thereof on designated highways, which prohibitions and limitations shall be designated by appropriate signs and placed on such highways. We have to remember the prohibition and limitation must not violate reasonable access regulation. City Code 912-9 outlines truck routes, gives us that opportunity, and it is the opinion of our attorney that as our code is currently written, it conforms to the requirements of reasonable access in designating truck routes. So if we were to look at changing truck routes, adding truck routes, we would want to be cautious and do that in consultation with Iowa DOT, our engineers, as well as if we have planning staff, which may work through Iowa DOT as well, and of course, legal counsel. We would likely need to do a traffic study, which there may be funding available through Iowa DOT, but the estimate of a traffic study could be anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 to do this correctly. And then we would also have to look at that consequence of shifting traffic from where trucks currently are traveling through the community to where it might shift them onto roads that weren't built to the standard to carry that traffic, as well as how it might impact other neighborhoods along the way. In trying to solve one problem, we might create other problems. Enforcement, when you look at that, it's hard to just look at a truck and say, it shouldn't be here, it should be here. So we would have, that's always a challenge for law enforcement to do that as well. When we look at the overall picture, I think we just have to exercise caution. I think we also know that there are certain areas that need some scrutiny because there's some issues with trucks coming through downtown. There's issues that could be avoided. We just have to look at the best way to analyze those situations and decide what course of action we would be allowed to take. I promised it would be exciting, but I would like to have interaction and dialogue and take it in a direction where council would like to go.
Questions or comments from the council?
Because I can do this presentation 10 more times and it won't be any more interesting. I promise that.
I do have a question.
It sounds exactly like the last time you came.
I know.
Councilperson Martinez.
I'm consistent, though.
There you go. And you did mention West Fifth or Fifth Street,
Yes.
I guess, the whole Fifth Street. The piece of property I'm thinking of is Fourth Street where it meets, East Fourth Street where it meets Flint. The East School, and I think there might be a hairdresser directly across the street. I've had to back up several times because a truck from, I'm not gonna say where it came from, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
I can guess where it came from. Has to come around, and that street seems a little bit narrow for that, and it happens to be at the same time school is either getting in or getting out. Now, that's gonna change very soon when those children are no longer at that school, and that school isn't being, I don't know what the plans are for that school in the near future, but is that part of this same, is that little area, that stretch of Fourth Street from there past Gingerbread to that first stop sign, which would be, is that Russell Street? Maybe? I'm not very good at my streets' names,
all
but
right.
is that included in this protected?
I think that any truck doing business in the community can travel on any street they desire as part of that issue. And there's always going to be conflicts. I think we're also seeing conflicts based on the economic activity in a community that's in one that's growing, that's prospering, and is going to have that additional traffic. That doesn't mean we shouldn't look at it, and we shouldn't decide what's best from now to the future, because what's worked in the way it's laid out now has worked up to this point, but it may need to change for the future of our community as a growing community with that economic activity.
Thank you.
The questions or comments?
Well, here's my thoughts on it. We already have it in section 912.9 of our code. It also states that you have to take the, from those designated truck routes, which mainly through town here is Highway 7 or 110, you have to go to the nearest point to get to that place. So when I see trucks, livestock trailers, I see grain trucks running through, I've seen fuel trucks. It's a mile from, say, where I live to downtown, and they go all the way through town. I mean, they're heading, Tyson goes through there. I've seen Walmart, Baumgars. Just last week, Walmart and Baumgars went by, and I thought, why aren't you going straight north? So what I would like to see is we approached the state about putting the truck route sign back in on Highway 110, and maybe a truck route sign somewhere in the neighborhood of 4th and 5th Street that directs trucks to go straight north instead of turning onto those streets, because I don't believe those streets are really designed to handle it. And then we have one street that was built heavy enough to handle traffic in town was when the feed mill was on Seneca Street. That street was built heavier than all the others because of the truck traffic it was supposed to take. And we have a place downtown where they're parking trucks on a gravel lot, and they're running all the way through town all the time instead of taking possible routes. I followed a trucker coming up from Shaler that I know he's going to the feed mill. I just don't know if he knew where he was going or not, but he came all the way in. I followed him all the way in on 110, and I know he was loaded. And I thought, why are you coming this way? You should have just went off around by the airport. I would just like to see us do that to begin with and see what happens. I mean, other towns have it. I've looked at Fort Dodge, which I was kind of surprised on there. Some of these towns actually produce truck route maps for truckers to look up. And when I looked at Fort Dodge, you look at the minor arterials in Fort Dodge, and they have specific truck routes, and I was surprised it avoided a lot of those minor arterials are not on this truck route map. Indianola's the same way, Cedar Rapids is the same way. Cedar Rapids even has it where you go so far down this one road and no semis can go any further. They're allowed so far, and so I'm probably gonna be in the Cedar Rapids area in a few weeks. I plan on driving through that road and see what it's like. But I would just like to stop some of that. I've been down at 4th Street and both 5th Street when semis tried to turn onto Flint Drive. And a lot of traffic, if they're coming off of 4th or 5th, everybody has to wait because somebody's waiting to turn and they're trying to swing out and they can't make that short turn. So I would just like to see some of that. I want to kind of protect the streets we have. I know you can say, well, we let them run on there, you know, that's going to wear down that street. But then I'm thinking some of these side streets are getting so bad we can't keep repairing 5th Street. 5th Street, since I've lived here, has been redone twice. And I've noticed some spots that are getting bad again. I know the street was originally a highway. It was originally Highway 110 back until 1967 when they rerouted it north to Highway 7. I don't know when it was widened. It used to be a narrow street going through there. There's been aprons added on to that because when the last time they ground the asphalt off, those aprons were just crumbled rock. In fact, there's places where they had to dig up and try and reinforce the ground to support the asphalt. And so I would like to get more control of where those trucks are. I don't know why trucks for Walmart and that are coming through instead of going straight north. But maybe if there was a truck route sign there with flags on it saying, head straight north, you know, to go north, maybe they'd change the routes. I don't know. I would like to avoid the congestion. I'm understanding that might have been why, I can't find it officially, when 110 was rerouted back in 1967 was to get the congestion out of downtown and to get the truck traffic from downtown. I was going through newspaper articles trying to track that specific, but I know it was open in November 3rd or something of 1967 is when they bypassed it. So that would be my only proposal is, I mean, whether we write fines right away or not, maybe just putting truck route signs up but I think if we do one on 110, we should approach the state about doing one on Flint Drive so that when trucks leave Tyson, they see that the route is to go north or go south. And Richland Street's built heavy enough for trucks automatic. I think it was rebuilt for that when it was done. That was my only request. I mean, I don't want to change, you can't change road classification. Road classifications are based on traffic counts. And there's actually an interactive map that the DOT has that you can go in and see. And for some reason, when the last time they did West Fifth Street, and they never figured in the trucks on it. They did on Northwestern, but they skipped it by then, and they just didn't figure it anymore. So that was my only proposal, is we approach the state about doing that and see if that makes a difference.
If my recollection is that I got pretty heated about this same thing, asking for that truck route sign to be put back on 110, and we were told we could not do so. Am I correct in that, Mr. Darragon?
That's my memory as
Yes.
well.
And that was only in the 2 years that I've been on council. So we did put that request in, because we don't know why it was not permitted. It seems to me a simple fix. You just tell the trucks to go to the left and knock it down Fifth, and we were told we could not do that. But if it's the wish of the council, we can put that request in again and see if we can get another ruling. And I guess we could add 4th Street.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and Council, this is just a work session, so this would just be giving us direction, city staff direction on what we would be bringing forward to city council in the future.
We can do that. Any other questions?
Did they
Person
give,
Reiner, you're looking for.
I'm trying to think, and it hurts sometimes. Did the state give a reason as to why the request was denied? Was there some sort of rationale behind that?
Yeah, we'd have to look it up, but. yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering if conditions have changed. I know that there's been a traffic light added.
No, this has only been in the last 2 years that we
Okay,
put the
never mind
request in. Or I would say inquiry as to why because it had been up and then it had to go down, and then we were only allowed to put up the regular sign. So I don't recall the rationale, but we can work and see if we can get further and have staff come back with more information specific to that request, if that's what. Anything else that you want to add, Ms. Navratil?
No.
This topic, okay?
No, thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council.
Anything else, Mr. Darragon?
No, Mayor.
You,
It was a
anything
better
else?
presentation with Counselor Piercy's input, though.
It was.
I appreciate that.
Councilperson Piercy does his research. Any other questions or comments from the council?
Not unlike all of us don't do that as
Oh,
well,
I know.
just so you
Yes.
know.
I'm sorry. He just gets
I'm
into
a
the
mother to 3
technical
children, I know
stuff.
you have to call them all out at the same time.
Okay, if there are no questions, then we'll close the work session, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Ramos, second.
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You're adjourned. Thank you.